Hi, I'm Mel Blunt, NFL Hall of Famer, played 14 years for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I want to state my case why I think Ken Riley should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I watched Ken Riley for 14 years of my career play cornerback and played it as well as anybody, even including myself. This man had 65 career interceptions. Think about that, 65 interceptions. Played tremendously all of those years. Ken Riley was a true All-Pro, Hall of Famer, and I think it's an injustice, not only to the Hall of Fame, but to guys like myself who are in the Hall of Fame, to have a guy like Ken Riley sitting out there and has not been recognized for the work that he did and the contribution that he made to the National Football League. If there's any such thing as a Hall of Famer, it's Ken Riley. And I'm pleading and asking all the voters and everyone who support people like Ken Riley, who deserves to be recognized for their work. I'm saying this as a Hall of Famer. It's a shame, and we got to correct that. So a man like Ken Riley, who's not only made such a great contribution to the game of football, but to the game of life, a decent human being who gave his life to the community and to the NFL. So my case is that the man is a Hall of Famer. His records indicates that, and so justice need to be served for Ken Riley. Thank you very much.
Ken Riley and I was lockdown corners. We loved the game, you know what I'm saying? We played it hard, and we was the best at doing it.
That's right.
Ken and I together, there was no one better. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the Ken and I compliment each other on the field. We was roommates for 7 years, never had an argument, never had anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Riley and I was friends, very close, closer than people can imagine. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we talked about a lot of things, not just football, but business, houses, cars, family, a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? I miss Riley dearly. In fact, I talked with Riley 2 days before he died. And we just had fun reminiscing, talking about things and stuff like that. I miss him, and I respect him. Hey, but he and I was two of the best. We was ball hawks. We learned fundamentals and technique from Chuck Weber. Hey, we learned how to play 3 positions, bump and run. We could catch. We could play off. We could do several things. We was well diverse, and I got a lot of respect for Ken. Both of us should be in the Hall of Fame. In fact, we should go together. Right now, even though he's deceased, I still feel that he and I should go in that side. Yes, we was the reason because we was man to man. And anytime you could play man to man against anybody, you could do a lot of things on the line. You could stunt, you could blitz, you could do anything. We played everybody man to man. We didn't care who you were. We played Pittsburgh, you name them. We didn't care about them. Line them up, and Riley and I was going to play them.
Yeah.
I was more bump and run than Riley. He was off. He mastered the deep technique, and I was in your face. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to take everything away. I didn't want you to catch nothing, short, medium, or deep. Riley mastered Riley mastered the off game, said that he was very technique savvy. And
he taught me more about playing receiver than anybody I was ever around. You heard Pat say it, but he did the same thing to me. At the time I got there, he was sort of at the end of his career, and I'm sure beating a rookie time in and time out, help solidify him as he deserves to keep playing, after as long as he had been playing. But despite that, he would always sort of walk you back to the huddle, not in a in your face way, but he would walk you back across after a one-on-one drill where he gobbled you up and say, I saw this, or when you do this, don't do that, or do this. I mean, all he wanted was for you to be better. And I've never met anybody like him. I've never in my life met anybody like him.
As a young player that came to the Bengals at the end of his career, I kind of looked around to see the type of individuals, not only on the field, the type of player, but also how they handled themselves off the field. And right away I found out and knew about Kenny Riley as a player. What he had done over his career and what he had continued to do, even the short time I was with him. But I noticed the humility, but the leadership qualities. He wasn't, boisterous and loud, but you could tell that his work ethic and the way he carried himself, a true professional. And that's what I was thankful for when I got to the Bengals. There was about 3 or 4 guys that I looked at that had those qualities, and Kenny was right there on the top of the list. The way he handled himself, and just the excellence of humility and performance, and a tremendous leader. So I appreciated that as a young player coming into the NFL and getting to know Ken and having a chance to play with him.
Yeah, cool.
Hi, my name is James Lofton, and I am a former wide receiver in the NFL. Yes, I played for 16 seasons, from 1978 to 1993. 5 different teams, primarily with 3 teams: the Green Bay Packers, the Los Angeles Raiders, and the Buffalo Bills. Not only did I play 16 seasons in the NFL, but really for the last 40 years, I've been involved with the NFL as a player, as a coach, and as a broadcaster. I'm also an NFL Hall of Fame selector. So I sit in that room and we talk about players who deserve to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That's what this is about. This is an endorsement for one of those players, Ken Riley. Ken Riley played for the Cincinnati Bengals from 1969 to 1983. He came into the league from Florida A&M as a 6th-round pick. He played quarterback in college, but he converted himself to a cornerback. 65 career interceptions. 65 career interceptions. Top 10 on the all-time list. You have to wonder why Ken Riley is not in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Was it that he didn't start fast or he didn't finish great? No, started fast. Had interceptions in his rookie season. And in his last season, 1983, Ken Riley, at the age of 36, was named first team All-Pro. He led the NFL in interceptions. 8 interceptions in 14 games. I played against Ken Riley. He made life difficult for a lot of receivers. But I went to Cincinnati on a hot streak. In the first 8 games of the 1980 season, I'd racked up 800 yards in 8 games. That's 100 yards a game. Easy math to do. I faced Ken Riley in week 9. After the game was over, I still had 800 yards. I did not catch a pass against Ken Riley or the Cincinnati Bengals that Sunday afternoon. Ken Riley gets my full-throated endorsement for the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Talking Football with Bengal Jim and Friends, and base our counseling session tonight, guys. I know you guys are pissed off. I know I'm pissed off right now. We're going to talk some Hall of Fame stuff here. We got Jeff Hobson coming on at 8:30. Ken Riley II is going to be coming on here about 8:10. We have planned this for weeks, this being a celebration today. We had Chris Collinsworth lined up, Lewis Breeden, Dave Lapham, Lamar Parrish, Ken Riley II, and Hobson. We had just a all-star studded cast thinking this was going to be a 2-hour celebration. So we're going to get to that discussion here in a little bit. Ken Riley II going to be dialing in here in about another 10 minutes. But just to let you know before we get started where I am at, I am in Chicago. I'm not in jail, as it looks like it is a fire escape, and I'm literally right across the street from Wrigley Field at a rooftop to watch the game here in a little bit in Wrigley. So I had to find a place to do this, and I couldn't find any place quiet other than this fire escape, guys. So Jamie, Tom, James, good evening.
James, Tom, you guys are muted still. You got to unmute yourselves. There we go.
It was our moment of silence there for what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, we got a lot of stuff to get into, guys, but I do want to get this duck race going. Let's talk about this real quick. So, the last 4 days, and we've gotten donations from you guys, the viewers, for some of these prizes that we're doing for the duck race. Somebody who wanted to remain anonymous donated a Jamar Chase signed autograph mini helmet, which is a pretty high valued piece right now for a number 1 draft pick in the NFL. So we appreciate that donor for this. And our focus this week was the Joe Burrow Hunger Relief Fund. You guys raised $1,000 in not even quite 4 days for the Joe Burrow Relief Fund. And I did post on social media. They must have seen all the $25 and $50 donations coming in, and they sent us a message. They knew where they were coming from, and that was really cool for you guys to get that acknowledgement. These guys, noticing that those dollars coming in. So we've got the duck race night. Jamie, you've got the names.
I do. I got the names. Let me just bring it up on the screen here. 1 second.
So as Jimmy said, thank you to everybody that donated. It doesn't even count the $100 that Jamie raised on his own. So good job, Jamie, doing that on your little post. So again, everybody's pitching in like always. And the other cool thing about this, one, yes, the money goes to Joe Burrow's wonderful foundation. But 2, if you remember, what was it, last season, early this season, when we had the gentleman on that did those banners, get an opportunity to be involved in that. So just a cool deal, and here we are with yet another duck race, and our resident historian, Tom, going to do in the play-by-play.
Let's go.
Here we go. Let's go, Jamie.
All right, here we go. On your mark, get set.
They're off from the 275 bridge. Going strong. We got a regular duck out front taking command. 2 regular ducks out front taking command pretty early, which is not what you want to be. You got pirate duck looking kind of strong. Purple duck looking pretty good.
Kind of
I
strong.
don't know what that duck that is. There's another regular duck. Now here comes purple duck. Nancy Dunning's duck. Drifting back.
Halfway home.
Halfway home, past the east end, coming down, bearing down on the Montgomery Inn. We've got another regular duck up there. The night for regular duck so far. Coming down the stretch they come. Look at this. They're like that down Smale Park. You don't want to be in the lead at Smale Park. Clint Rock, no, that's not what you want. You don't want to be in front there. It's going to be really close. We may need a photo finish here, Jamie. 2, 1, the closest we've ever seen. Oh,
yeah. Oh my God!
And Martin comes out of nowhere.
That was the closest, Tom. That was the closest one we've ever had.
Closest one we've ever hit. I
Hold on,
think
finish.
I did see some ducks on the bump. But the real winner is Southeastern Ohio's, homeless and hungry.
That's right.
Raised all this. We generously give all this money to because of the Cincinnati Bengals and Bengal fans and followers of the show.
Yeah.
And look, we're all smiling. 40, First time all day.
Yeah. 40 ducks, $25 a pop, $1,000 right to the foundation. And they appreciated it. I post their comment on social media so you can see exactly what they wanted to share with everybody that was donating. Very cool thing. That puts us at $14,762 or something like that. You guys are killing it. So really cool stuff. We've got some really big plans for some charity stuff and really fun prizes and stuff coming up as well here, guys. So okay, mood changes back to our conversation about the Hall of Fame, guys. And
but before we get on the Hall of Fame, one
Sure.
other sad note happened Sunday. I was leaving church about noon. Our one and only Syracuse product was unfortunately cut from the team on Sunday morning. So the second best quarterback on the team is no longer on the team.
I'm surprised. He looked really good in preseason.
At first, he didn't fumble it like Shermer did.
But I mean, James, what's really equally shocking, he passed through waivers. Nobody claimed him.
I think
he could come back.
I think Mike is locking him away in a hotel in downtown Cincinnati, just waiting for the practice squad. Fingers crossed. Yeah. All right, on to a serious note.
Let's get in this. So all the viewers right now, if you could, I would absolutely like everybody to type in one word that describes how you feel about today's announcement. Just one word. Just type them in as we go through this, and Jamie will pop up the appropriate ones that we're actually able to pop up, because the FCC is getting ready to shut us down after this show. I'm telling you that right now.
No swears. Put stars in your swear words.
Or dollar signs for S's. That's what I did. I'm just saying. All right, guys. So here's what's interesting. We were told. I'm absolutely beside myself. I'm furious. I see a lot of people venting in different ways on social media, talking, we're going to boycott the Hall of Fame. We're going to do this. Look, you do whatever you think you need to do that makes you feel good about this. There's no right or wrong in whatever you want to do to show your support for our players, especially Ken Riley and Ken Anderson. But there's 4 things in the past year and a half that everybody in the screen and everybody's been watching consistently, that we had three of the 9 Hall of Fame senior selectors and committee on our show. And they were very, I felt, upfront and honest with us, and we were very blunt with them and talked about Ken Riley and Ken Anderson and all the other players we think should be in the Hall of Fame. But when you go back and you collect all that information, there was 4 things that we heard, at least that I heard. Sometimes my wife said I don't listen very well, but this is what I heard. 4 things that they told us. 1, you can't compare players of different eras to each other, right? Okay, so pretty simple. Ken Riley, compared to every other DB in the 70s and early 80s, none better, if not top 1 or 2. Ken Anderson, one of the best quarterback in the 70s. I don't care about Terry Bradshaw. I know he's in the Hall of Fame. Ken Anderson was a way better quarterback than Terry Bradshaw. The difference there, Super Bowls, non-Super Bowls, big market, small market, big name team, small name team. So that was one thing they told us. Okay, so I'm like, if you're comparing to players in their era, these are no-brainers, right? 3 other things. They told us specifically that it's very important to get endorsements from your own players that you played with. And I'm not going to hit this whole list here, but Ken Riley and Ken Anderson, both significant endorsements from Anthony Munoz, Dick LeBeau, Sam White, Dave Lapham, Reggie Williams, Bill Walsh, Chris Collinsworth. The list goes on and freaking on of those endorsements. And then we were told, you know what? It's not just endorsements from the players they played with. You got to get other people from other teams, and especially Hall of Famers from other teams, to talk about Ken Anderson and Ken Riley. Well, what do you know? We were able to get some video from 2 Hall of Famers that put 2-3-minute videos out there for us about Ken Riley specifically. James Lofton had an unbelievable 2.5-minute video talking about why he feels Ken Riley should be in the Hall of Fame. Mel Blount, unbelievable video about why he feels Ken Riley should be in the Hall of Fame. So we as fans and group, we got all that together. We got those James Lofton and Mel Blount videos. And then we're being told very specifically, and they get offended, the Hall of Fame voters get offended when we say, hey, there's small market, big market bias, and there's just bias, period. And I'm not going to tell you which one, but one of those voters flat out almost lit us up. Say, that's not the case. That is absolutely not the truth at all. There's example after example on social media. Everybody that's watching right now, we're going to show you 2 right now. And there's absolutely a bias, period. So there was a post, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to give credit to whoever found this and reposted it. But when Joe Burrow was drafted, one of the Hall of Fame senior committee selectors basically told Joe Burrow that he should just back out and not go to Cincinnati. Gary Meyer, somebody from New York, was on the Hall of Fame committee voting today. And there's his verbiage right there. My advice to Joe Burrow: follow the John Elway and Eli Manning draft plan. Force the Bengals to trade you. The NFL quarterback is playing for a bad organization. He's got to get out of Cincinnati. This is a guy voting on the seniors. You can't tell me that bias doesn't go into our voting on it. There's no freaking way. This guy should not be on a Hall of Fame committee, period. And look at the other. Who's this other guy here on that? Dude, were you able to blow that up at all? Yeah. Look at this picture, this image right here. This dude, check his pulse. He's the one making a vote on the committee. Are you kidding me? I know they were in meetings all damn day, but you got to be kidding me, guys. This is ridiculous. The other thing I thought was interesting, Tom and I talked about this multiple times today. Mark Davis and David Baker were on the phone. David Baker, the president, CEO of the Hall of Fame, talking to Mark Davis, owner of the Raiders. And what was that comment? Tom,
The
you remember
comment was,
the
something to the effect, something to the effect of, well, you told me at the inductions a couple weeks back, you still had one guy to get in, and we got him in. So you got him in. So I mean, it's got to be great to be an owner and have all your guys in, and it deserves. And that's not. And I'll steal a little thunder, and I'll get some people to throw stuff at me right now. I'm old. I got to watch Cliff Branch play. Cliff Branch is a Hall of Fame receiver. He was a stud. He was a beast. He was fast. He was perfect for the Raiders, and he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Should have been in long ago, just like Ken Riley. Unfortunately, I believe he passed away in 2019, not too long ago. So nothing against Cliff Branch, his teammates, or anything else. I put more than anything else, I put this on the Hall itself. They're the ones that there's such an incredible backlog of deserving seniors, and they cut that in half. It's only one senior can get in a year, and every year it gets worse. So they need to go back, not wait to the ruling they made, wait till 2025. As soon as possible, go back to 2 seniors a year and get rid of this backlog. It isn't just here in Cincinnati. There are other markets. There are a lot of deserving players that deserve to go into the Hall of Fame. But this, just like, last year was, well, Riley will go in next year. Oh, we saw what happened. Bullcrap. Some of the stuff I'm seeing on social media is Cliff Branch got in because enough people screamed and said, look at his numbers and compare him to Drew Pearson. They played at the same time. And Branch dwarfs him. But then Jimmy's right. There is a media bias.
You know what I don't understand, guys? So the Pro Football Hall of Fame has a Hall of Fans, and they draft 3 of those a year. And we're drafting 1 senior player every year?
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, I mean, I'm going to use some words. I know there's a lot of stuff you guys put up there in the chat areas here. It's a joke. It's a freaking travesty, and it's straight out freaking lies from these guys. I know they're not meaning to do this, but it is absolutely – when the Hall of Fame doesn't have this process set up the way it should be, you're going to leave it into somebody's like Gary Myers. Come on. I mean, the guy's obviously biased with his comments about the Cincinnati Bengals organization. We got to fix this. Tom's talking about the backlog of seniors. That's one thing. But the bias, the absolute bias, those 4 things that I just got done reviewing are things that we've been told for the past year and a half. And the Cincinnati Bengals, the fans, the family, the organization nails every one of these 4. And still, it doesn't happen. It's an absolute joke and a travesty. But look, here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to be very clear. We planned this huge celebration tonight. We were so excited. We had everything lined up for this tonight. We can't stop. We can't stop fighting for this. Willie Anderson is likely. We got to do some focusing on him later this year as well. But we can't stop fighting, guys. This isn't something we're going to stop. We're going to keep going on this thing. So I don't want to keep Ken waiting. And I just want to, before we bring Ken Riley the second on, I just was exchanging text messages with him off and on today and throughout the week. And for him to come on today, guys, if we feel like this, imagine if your family, how they feel. And him coming on, he's been through him and his family been through the ringer for many years in this process. So we really appreciate Ken coming on. We're going to let Ken voice his comments on this as well. So let's go ahead and welcome to the show, Ken Riley II.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's going on, big dog? How you doing, buddy?
I'm
good to see you, man.
I'm good. Yeah,
man. We were ready to celebrate, buddy. We were ready to be celebrating.
I know it. Like I said, it's one of those things. Every year, it's a big build-up, and unfortunately, it didn't work out. But like I said, it's something that my father always said it was out of his control. And when things like this happen, you just got to keep moving forward, keep pushing. And this is something that didn't define who he was as a player or as a man. So, it's very disappointing. But at the same time, I just really like to thank you guys for all the work that y'all put in, and all the Who Dey fan nation. Really means a lot to me and my family, because that's what means the most, because that's family. And I appreciate all of the support, and we'll just keep it moving forward, and look forward to a good year this year.
There's no doubt in my mind it's going to happen. It's just you guys been told this I don't know how many years, and we've only been involved in this process for the past maybe 2 years. You've been doing this forever, so this has been the same thing year in and year out for you, right?
Yeah, it's a big buildup. Like I said, I've been through this. I'm not surprised. It's been 20, 30 plus years ever since I was smaller. You push, and you hear so many positive things, and you hear like, okay, this is going to be, you actually think this is going to be the year. And then by the time, the voting comes around, I don't know what happens. It's unexplainable. Numbers speak for themselves. And outside of it, not only my father, but there's so many deserving Bengals fans, players, Ken Anderson, Mark Parrish, Isaac Curtis, who's never even mentioned. So how do you explain that? And it's not just about stats. It's a lot to do with you have those core quote, those popular teams, and we all know who they are. And it seems like they always get the benefit of doubt sometimes. But like I said, eventually we will break through. We had one breakthrough, and like I said, we just to do our best to keep pushing. But again, like I said, with the Ring of Honor and the love that we receive from the Bengals, that means the most, because you can't count on others outside of the family to dictate who you are. And like I said, that's the most important thing. So,
as you mentioned, Ken, unfortunately, you dealt with this every year, and when your dad was still alive, the disappointment was there. What was your dad's tone on a day like this when he wasn't in there? What would he relay to you? As you mentioned, this doesn't diminish anything that happened in his career, the character of him or anything.
Yeah.
Like that. But what was, his tone? Because honestly, Ken, you're doing way better than I did. You came on way more chipper than the four of us here, and had a way brighter attitude than any of us here, and probably 90% of the people watching. Down in the dumps. We had hoped for this, and we're just wanting this bad. So being in your shoes, that's got to be exemplified 10 times that. And kudos to you for the attitude. But what would your dad say if he was here, today? And unfortunately, as you said, didn't get the call, even though we all know he's deserving.
Well, I kind of take his lead, and he was probably the same way. He had been through this, not even through this process, but the Pro Bowl. And he always felt that he went out and did what he had to do, and the numbers spoke for himself. And that's how he was always taught, with Coach Brown, with Coach Gaither, with Coach Forrest Gregg. So he had so many great mentors, and ones that taught him that go out and do your job, and let your record and your actions speak for themselves. So yes, it's disappointing, extremely disappointed. And I think that he was actually the most disappointed with the Centennial class, because he felt that, they were doing 10, 12 candidates. And if he wasn't part of that group, he was like, I'll never get in. And so that's probably the most frustrating I had seen him. But at the same time, he felt that, like I said, he always felt that doesn't define who he was as a player or as a man. And he has done all he can do. He can't catch any more interceptions. He can't, what else can he do? And it's unfortunate. And like I said, I'm extremely disappointed. I really thought this was the year. And like I said, you guys have been wonderful. The social media, all the love. I can't say it enough. It's very we're very grateful for all of that. And like I said, that means more to me than the Hall of Fame, because if you're leaving it up to somebody else, like I said, they have their biases, and who knows when it will happen. I do still believe it's going to happen, but when it happens, cool. If it doesn't, as long as we got the Who Dey Nation and the love we receive there, that's all we can ask for. And like I said, we'll just keep pushing.
Ken, first, how's the rest of your family? How's your mom, your siblings? How's everybody doing tonight?
You know what? It's my mom, like, hey, she's like my dad. She kind of like tunes it out. And I'm the one that's like pushing, hey, this is going to be. I'm like, Mom, answer your phone. I was texting back with Jim, hey, make sure you answer your phone, because she doesn't answer calls from people she don't know. But other than that, she doesn't pay a lot of attention to it because my mom is probably the firewood one. And So we kind of keep her away from him anyway because I don't want her to get upset. But my sisters, they, like I said, they're pretty much the same way. They kind of, I kind of lead the way and kind of keep them up to date what's going on.
I think it felt different this year. I think everyone here really thought this was going to happen, and I guess the one thing I hope from all this is that they didn't announce this at 9 o'clock this morning. They didn't announce this at 11 o'clock this morning. I hope that we gave them, not just us, but all the fans, all the Bengals fans, we gave them something to talk about. We gave them something to really debate about, and I really hope we hear later that this was a really, really tough decision, and that,
Yeah.
I hope. That's my hope.
Yeah, we heard it last year at the finals, and the things that you guys have been doing, they have been hearing it, and you guys have been, like I said, I can't say it enough how great you guys have been. The social media, all of the tweets, all of the stats, and I see all of them. I try to respond to most of them, but I really appreciate it, and they have it. I mean, like I said, they're there. They're there for Ken Anderson. They're there for Lamar. It's unfortunate. I don't know the answer. My dad knew. We don't know the answer. Nobody knows. When they get behind those closed doors, something happens, and it's just like I said. It's just one of the things that's out of our control.
Ken, just so you know, looking forward, everybody I've talked to outside of Cincinnati, non-Bengal fans say the same thing. Nothing stops. In fact, we just double down. Nobody's angry at the voters. It's clearly those guys just need help, a lot of help. But so we're here to give it for them, and nobody's going away. For you and Ken Anderson with the senior committee, I think everybody's going to double down. And for Willie Anderson, with the current players that are eligible. So hopefully he can get in February and start a trend, and we can have somebody in stripes up there on that podium every year.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. We're going to keep it going. I mean, it's not going to stop. It's just they're going to have to deal with it one way or the other. Hopefully we can have a great season, and that's going to change some things too. So I'm looking forward to this season, and they can't stop us. It's going to happen.
Yeah, you know it. So Ken, changes the subject slightly. I know James hit on it a little bit, but we're going to have a hell of a lot of fun that Thursday night for that Ring of Honor game, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting you guys in person, and it's going to be a great atmosphere. I know everybody's going to be rocking in the jungle, and I'm definitely looking forward to that game.
The whole family coming in for that game, do you know, or?
Yeah, my mother's coming in, and my sisters, and so my sons are coming, so we'll all be there.
I'm going to tell you right now, Ken, they're going to be rolling out the red carpet for you and the fam when you come in. So it's going to be a great night in Cincinnati, that's for sure. So, Ken, man, we really don't have anything else, brother. When we had all these guests lined up, Collinsworth, Leaping, Lamar was coming on. He was so excited, Ken, and then we kind of backed down a little bit on what we were doing. And it's not just the fans out here; it's obviously his family, his teammates, that organization down there. They're fighting for him. They love him. So we're just going to keep fighting, buddy, and just tell the fam that we love them, and we. We're thinking about you guys. This is, as we feel like we got kicked in the gut. You guys have been getting this. You guys have been getting this feeling for a long time. We're just now experiencing it for the last 2 or 3 years. We've been in the weeds on this thing. So, Ken, we appreciate your humbleness. We appreciate. I can't believe you're on today, buddy. So it means a lot, and it just shows what kind of person you are. It sounds like Dad raised a good one there, buddy. And thanks so much for coming on and joining us.
Well, again, thanks for having me. And like I said, I really appreciate all your support and things that you guys are doing. And like I said, we're going to keep going. So again, thanks for all you guys do, and I really appreciate it, man.
Who day, buddy? Tell the family we said hey.
We'll stay safe.
We'll do. All right, we'll do. Okay, bye-bye.
Well, he was a lot better than I would be.
Yeah.
It just goes to show he's so used to disappointment, which is it's sad to say, but
it's not hard to tell whose kid he is.
Yep, no doubt.
Not
It's
at all.
So for the guys that missed the beginning of the show, I am in Chicago. I am in a fire escape. I had to find a quiet place. It's pouring down rain. I was going to go. So yes, I'm in a fire escape.
We're hoping for no fire alarm during the
show. If there's a fire alarm, I'm just going to get cut off the show. So
Trampled.
nobody's messing with the show, man. They can go around this.
What's the phone number of the place you're at?
Stop it.
I half expect to see
911.
Tommy Lee Jones chasing Harrison Ford down the steps or something any minute.
I wonder what the international implications of a fake bomb threat would be from.
Oh my gosh.
Reporters.
Jeez.
You don't want to have to
We've
bail
got
out of jail again, Jamie. Behave up there.
Never be
Yeah,
able to come down.
We've got a few more minutes. We probably Jeff said between 7:30 and 7:45. So
Well, we got this break, and again, thank you, Ken, for coming on, for being upbeat, like we've all said, way better than any of us. This weekend, last home game for last preseason game. Thank you, and we did 4 in years past, 3 this year, maybe to be 2, and preseason games will be a thing of the past here soon. But a big weekend here. We got the memorabilia show on Saturday at 16 lots. Come on up 5 to 7. And then following that, 7 p.m., the Bengals trivia at our buddy Dell's 16 lots there in Mason. So if you can join us, we'd love to have you. If you have memorabilia you want to come and show and tell the story, how it came about, we'd love for you to do that. And then Sunday, our last preseason game against Miami. I don't know if we have that. Is this the here's our slide for
graphic for some reason
for
right.
Saturday night. So if you can make it, great. If you can't, we will be live to tune in and expect to see some cool memorabilia. As we alluded to before, David Fulcher will be there signing autographs and raising money for his charity. So if you're in the area, maybe you're in town for the preseason game, we'd love to see you Saturday night at 16 lots.
And there will be some other players show up. I can't name them right now, but there's definitely at least one other one and probably 2 or 3 more that will be showing up. I will tell you, it's 5 to 7 is the memorabilia show. You're going to want to get there a little early and save yourself a seat because this is going to be a massive event. We may be being outside some of the outdoor seating we're going to have to use probably that night. So it's going to be that big. I want to back up a little bit to the duck race, and I apologize to Jeff, the banner guy, banner boy, I think they call him. That was his idea to do something for the Joe Burrow Hunger Relief Fund because he wanted to do something to support Joe Burrow. So basically what he wanted to do, we got the football helmet donated to us. That was kind of the enticing, hey, it's a nice prize. But Jeff, we're going to put the winner in touch with Jeff, and Jeff is going to brainstorm with the winner on what the banner is going to be this Sunday at Paul Brown Stadium on the east side of the stadium in the upper deck. Every game, he has a big banner up there, and the winner is going to get their name in the bottom right-hand corner of that banner as well. So whoever the winner is, we'll put you in contact. We'll put Jeff in contact with you, and you two are going to come up with what that banner is going to say at the Miami game, and your name will actually be on that banner. And Jeff promised us he would take pictures of that as well and post it for everybody. So you get to come up with what that banner is going to say for the Miami game. That's a pretty cool thing Jeff's doing.
And I have some suggestions too if they want to contact me. I got some ideas.
Well, let's hear them. Let's hear them.
Yeah, well, I'll pitch them to we'll pitch to the guy first, and we'll see.
How about free jackpot Jamie?
I'm hoping it's something to the effect, Ken Riley, Ken Anderson Hall of Fame or something. I don't know.
Okay, while we're waiting for Jeff to come on, I got something we can talk about. Is it just me, or is it worse this year with the literally catch by catch analysis at training camp?
Oh my gosh!
Is this driving anyone else crazy?
That's social media.
He's dropped the pass, and then he dropped another pass. What is going on? Are we losing our minds here? I'm so sick of reading this. And then when he catches everything, you don't hear a word. I don't. Do you remember this from last year with Joe Burrow? I remember we were watching him in training camp, but I don't remember literally the play-by-play training camp analysis. Do you guys? Am I losing my mind?
Joe Burrow, I think we're just excited for Joe last year. I don't think he can do any wrong, even if he threw 5 interceptions. But, again, I think we're ramped up for football season. There was a lot of team Sewell, team Chase debates. Look at everything leading up to the draft. So I think there was people that had their opinions strong one way or another, and they're still pretty adamant about that. But power of social media, and to the reporters that are down there, everything's great. Oh, shoot.
And I'm not hating on the reporters. I know they have a job to do, but it's I don't know. It's just numbing to me to watch literally a play-by-play of.
This might be a subject for another night, but building on what Jamie said, it's something else on Twitter we all of us follow all the Bengal beat writers, but if, for the sake of argument, Jamar Chase drops a ball, it's another miss for Jamar. Jamar Chase drops a ball, another drop for Jamar. Jamar's got a case of boom, 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 boom. And it's the same when you're watching an away game. If I'm watching it on TV or whatever, you get the same analysis. But I'm almost wondering if you had to narrow our list of who to follow that's covering the Bengals, who that should be.
Good question.
So it might be a question for next week when we're not as depressed. Jimmy's out of the bomb shelter. And
AJ brings up a good point. Burrow was smart by deleting his social media accounts. I hope Jamar's not watching social media. Like I don't know. I see the guy putting in work. I see the guy staying up to practice, putting in the work. I think he's gonna be just fine.
Along those lines, not changing subjects, but you see a lot of social media reports about Jackson Carman staying after practice and putting in work, and God knows we need that O-line to be cohesive group. So kudos to him for sticking around and doing what he can. I think we know that those guard positions aren't solidified yet, so get out there and put in the extra work. And kudos to Jackson for making that happen.
Yeah, let's talk about the Jamar Chase thing. It's like people are like battling back and forth on social media about Jamar's drops. I'm concerned. I'm not overreacting. I'm not panicked. I'm concerned about drops. You're a number one draft pick. You can't drop this many damn balls, period. I'm not overreacting. I'm not panicked, but I am concerned.
Yeah,
but he didn't have it. Yeah, he didn't have this issue at LSU, period.
Yeah, he took a year off, too. He took a year off.
Exactly. And Sewell's absolutely playing awful in Detroit. He's in the same boat. He didn't play last year either. So these guys had a whole year they didn't play. So I still think both these guys are going to be damn good football players.
Yeah,
I'm not panicked, that's for sure, but I'm concerned.
I think Chase has been putting in the work, while he took last year off. It's just dramatically different in a preseason game, 11-on-11 with the speed of the NFL adjusting to that and having guys in practice trying to bat the ball away from him. So I think it's a little bit of knocking off the rust, a little bit of getting to know everything. T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd stepped up today, and I do remember this last year. Remember T. Higgins went through a little streak where he was dropping everything last August.
Yep.
And he said, I can't explain it, but he said it does pass. He said you just go out, you practice, and it just passes. Tyler Boyd pretty much said the same thing. So, if we're talking about this in October, yes, but I think in time, Jamar Chase is going to be just fine, and he's going to fall in with a long line of great Bengal wide receivers.
I don't know about you. I'm not expecting Jamar Chase to go out and catch 3 touchdowns in the first week. Like I'm expecting to be a good player for us, but you got to remember we got a lot of good depth at wide receiver, so I'm not worried.
Kudos, Auden Tate. We really haven't even touched on that Washington game, but kudos to Auden Tate with his hands, man. He seems to catch everything, and as you said, Jamie, there's depth at that wide receiver position, and if Jamar needs some time to find his groove, so be it. I think we're okay at wide receiver.
I remember I was listening to NFL radio on Sirius one time, and I was stuck in traffic, and they were let people call in and talk about their team. And I remember calling in about Auden Tate 2 seasons ago, telling these guys he's going to be a stud. And I think it was Tom Papa. I don't forget who the show was, but they were laughing at me. Guys looking like, who? Who are you talking about? And he's looking up the stats, whatever, and he's like, this guy no one's heard of this guy. He's practice squad forever. And I hope he breaks out. The guy makes insane catches. Absolutely insane catches. Jeff's on, boys. You want to bring him on?
Yeah, let's go ahead and let's give him a second to get in there real quick. Let him settle down. One more thing before we bring Jeff on. We will be tailgating this Sunday. It's not going to be a full-blown, all-out tailgate. We'll be down there, but don't expect our normal regular season tailgate. And we'll talk about this maybe after Jeff gets off. But I don't know if anybody's seen the post of the Bengals posted about James Brown being the ruler of the jungle, kind of getting the crowd fired up before the game, the new pregame tradition the Bengals are starting. And the Bengals nailed it. To pick JB is the right guy to pick right there. So it's going to be fun to watch this. All the new things going on down at the stadium. It's going to be a fun time at PBS this year for sure. So let's go ahead. We just had Ken Riley the second on just now. Let's bring on Mr. Hobson here. Jeff, welcome to the show, buddy.
Here we go.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Thanks for having me on. I wish it was under better circumstances.
Yeah, we were ready for a big celebration. We had a whole bottle of whiskey and shots of Patron going to go around, but it didn't happen tonight, Jeff. We'll hold off on that. Maybe the Ring of Honor night.
We're still drinking the whiskey, though.
Yeah, that's good. I need one. I didn't believe me. I need one. Trying to piece things together. It's hard to It's just, I guess, because we're so close to it. But I mean, it seems to me the numbers would just, to me, they're just two no-brainer guys. And the fact that I guess the thing that's frustrating, and I was talking to Clark Judge about this, and I think you guys probably talked to him in the past. But the whole thing, and I remember starting to talk about these guys 07, 08, 09. And, well, it was long ago enough that I remember Paul Zimmerman said to me, look in that room. This was before I was a selector. And he said, look in that room. He goes, how many people do you think have ever heard of Ken Anderson? And that was as late as 2003, 2004. So ever since I kind of been banging on this 08, 09, 10, I've been told they're worthy. They'll get in. They have to be in the queue. They have to wait in the queue. Well, Kenny Riley was a runner-up last year. How far in the queue do you have to be? Yeah. So that was the discouraging thing to me.
Yeah, Jeff, there's nobody that has worked harder on this process than you, buddy. I know you're.
Well, I would say, you went up there. You guys did a great job. I mean, you guys got that thing coordinated, put all those clips together. That was a great moment. I mean, that's a great moment in Bengals history, never mind what happens, because what a moment that was to have all those people on the steps and on the steps of Canton, So that was, I mean, I think everybody's pitched in here, I think that's probably the frustrating, fans, media. I mean, the team has stepped up, and we're already talking about what to do, with this thing coming up with Willie, in the next couple of months.
Right.
With trying to get him into the top 25 again and get him into the finals, get him into the room so they can talk about him.
So, Jeff, I don't know, whatever you're able to talk about here, I don't want to dig too much on this, but it's been, when they talk about the Hall of, we had 3 or 4 of these guys on the show multiple times over months. Right. Great guys, and they seem to be very upfront with us. Yeah. None of them really told the same story, Jeff. It was, they all had their own little tweaks about what they thought should be a Hall of Famer. But the thing that we were told consistently was compare players of their era to them. Okay. They pass with flying colors. And the other thing we talked about, well, they need endorsements from players that they played with. We had Munoz, Dick LeBeau, Bill Walsh, Sam Weiss, Lapham, got all that. Well, they also wanted to hear about players from other teams that were maybe Hall of Famers that talked to them. Hell, we got James Lofton and Mel Blount, like 2 glowing endorsements. Then they talk about it's not a big market, small market. There's no bias in this. I am sorry, Jeff. You don't need to make a comment about it. It's total BS. Total BS. You got Gary Meyer. Don't need to make a comment on this, but we got Gary Meyer, who was just ripping the Cincinnati Bengals organization last year, telling Joe Burrow not to freaking go to Cincinnati, to pull the old Peyton Manning and Eli Manning, get out of there. Do not go to Cincinnati. I don't get it. I mean, you have to say that the bias, that comment right there has to be some bias against the Cincinnati Bengals organization. And these people are the ones making the decisions, Jeff. How hard and difficult is this? You've been fighting this.
I'm not going to – I think the guys in the room, they do the best that they can. I think – but they're human beings.
Right.
And you just said it. Every human being's take on this is different. Everybody has a different perception of what's a Hall of Famer, you know? So, you know, I'm not going to rip Gary. I think Gary does a good job. He's a good writer. I disagree with him on some things. I think he's doing the best he can. I'd like to think he's doing the best. I think he's doing the best he can. He's a Syracuse guy. Of course he's doing the best he can. But I think the thing is, like, you know, we had Mel Blount, right? Talking about Kenny. Well, Mel's also talked about Cliff Branch. He said if Cliff wasn't, he said probably Cliff Branch is the reason he's in the Hall of Fame because they had these great duels in the playoffs. So I think to me, I don't think it's the people. I think it's the process. I think there's just not enough spots. There's such a backlog of these guys. First of all, there has to be more than one a year going in. And second of all, there maybe has to be more people, you know, and I think that may happen if we're going to do Zooms now, you know, how it's a 5-man committee that's broken off from the 9-man senior committee. Then maybe the 9-man senior committee will meet from now on if it's a Zoom, you know, because before they'd been, you know, trying to get the Canton and all that because they meet in Canton when they did it. So maybe that will change. And maybe that will be for the, you know, maybe help guys. But I just think it's also too, Jimmy, I think it's just hard when you get all these great players. I mean, I think it's just flat out hard. It's frustrating, but I think people are trying. I think the voters are on the up and up. They're trying to do what they can, but boy, it's just an imperfect. Like I say, the only thing I got about it is, and Clark said this too, is if Kenny Riley was the runner-up last year, what did he do to not to lose a spot? So that's why I kind of it's agendas, it's stuff like that, and maybe there should be rules that say, hey, if a guy makes it this far one year, he should go that far the next year or something like that. I don't know, but it's just I think also the churning of the committee. There's not a lot of consistency, you know, with the 5 guys because it changes, you know, it changes every year. But like I said, I think everybody's doing the best I can. We just got to keep grinding. You know, I think I was pretty frustrated, but, you know, I texted Mel Blount and he said, you got to keep going. He said, you got to keep going for Kenny and his family. And so he's right. Let's keep going.
We'll keep fighting, brother. We're here to help you in any way we can, big dog. I know Tom has a few things for you as well, Jeff.
Butch, good to see you again.
Good to see you. Thanks for helping me out on that story again. You're such a huge help.
Thanks for you. It meant a lot to me. Do you think not just both our Kens, but Willie, and I guess to a degree maybe Isaac Curtis, Lamar Parrish, with the voters of today, are the Bengals teams of the 90s dragging down anything with stripes that's, you know, nominated or a possibility for Canton? There seems to be this view of the team, you know, even though we can have all pro players, we can go to the playoffs 5 years in a row, we can have the most exciting offense in football, future Hall of Famer and Geno Atkins, but there's some kind of stigma against anything Cincinnati, you know, from those guys. And like Jimmy said, every angle they've pitched at us, we've given it back to them. You know, here it is, no problem, done. Check the box off, and still spinning our wheels. And they, you know,
I think it's an interesting point, Tom, about that. You know, have the '90s, you know, kind of, but you know, they had some rough stretches in the '70s too. Late '70s was rough. There were a couple of, you know, the '87 strike. You know, they had their moments. But I think more so, I don't think so much the 90s. I think it's just the kind of the geographics. And I also think the not winning the Super Bowl. I think I understand where Jimmy's coming on the market, but I think not winning the Super Bowl really hurts him. You know, I think more so than the 90s. I think if, in an odd way, if the 81 team had won it, or the 88 team, probably would have helped Willie somehow in an odd way, you know, just because they've got that, you know, certainly Kenny Anderson and Kenny Riley would be in if they won that day in Detroit, and maybe Isaac. It's just amazing how voters. Well, I think Cliff Branch is like the 12th Raider from that era, and although Cliff did start on all 3 Raiders teams that won the championships, when the Raiders won their only Super Bowl appearance in the lifetime of the Bengals was in 1980, and the Bengals went the next year. So in the lifetime of the Bengals, they had the same Super Bowl number of appearances as the Raiders did. And yet the Raiders have, 12 times the players. I think it's more about Super Bowls than market in the 90s, unfortunately.
Yeah. Jeff, what's interesting, too, we've talked about this. There's just too big of a bottleneck right now with the seniors. There's just too many, not just the players we've talked about with the Cincinnati Bengals. There's other ones. They have to do something about that. Is there discussion going on, or do you know anything about any discussions going around the Hall of Fame and maybe opening it up a little bit for a year or two, other than just one?
Yeah, there have been ideas. That's why they came out with that mega class, the Centennial class. Last year, the 100th anniversary of the Centennial class, the 100th year of the league. And they opened it up, and nobody, Bengals didn't get a sniff there. But there has been talk about, you got to get, open it up to 2, 3. I mean, they can't do that. I think it's for like 2 more years. It's 1 senior and 1 contributor. And I think that will change at some point. How it will change? Will it go back to 2 seniors? Because it used to be 2 seniors a year. They used to alternate it, 2 seniors a year and a contributor. But now they've added the coaching category. So it's 1, 1, 1. So, there has been talk about that there is a bottleneck, but it just doesn't seem to get any kind of leverage. I mean, it's just really a tough, I wrote a little bit about that today. It's a vicious meeting, what happened today. It's a vicious meeting because, I'm thinking there are about 13 to 15 finalists. All those guys have Hall of Fame arguments, are worthy. So that means you left 14 gold jackets and 14 gold busts on the floor. And it's it's like a great point. I see Jennifer nails in here. Clark Judge had that point. Just this past year, we put in a first time eligible guy with 65 interceptions, Charles Woodson. We put him in. First time eligibility. Here's the guy. He's sitting here. Woodson tied him. He's been sitting here since 1983 with 60, and we can't put him in. I don't know. It's to try to make sense of it is, but they're saying these things in Denver because they want Gradishar. They're saying these things in New York because they want Klecko. They're saying these things. They're saying these things in a lot of towns. So, I mean, I guess we think it's just us, but I do think we get 2 pretty good cases. It's just hard to.
And Tom's got a question here for you, but I have to play. I mean, Dalton, who lives up in the Seattle area, a huge diehard Bengals fan. This number's just mind-boggling to me. 18 Steelers, 26 Raiders. Come on, 1 Bengal. This is just ridiculous, Jeff.
Remember and Lapp and Kenny would talk about this, and Mel has talked about this too. The biggest games for the Steelers in the 70s were not the Super Bowls. They would have to beat the Bengals to get through. I mean, those were some great games. I mean, yeah, it's just and that came up today. I think, from what I understand, that did come up because it's a glaring thing. One guy in 54 years. It's ridiculous. And that was brought up, but it still doesn't seem to register. I don't know. I don't know. It's but I think that I'm not gonna. When I saw it, I said, well, I'm just gonna give up. Can't give up though, because of Kenny Anderson and Kenny Riley II, and you just gotta Willie. We got to think about what try to get Willie in now here in the next couple months. So get him in the room anyway. So,
did you get any feel at all? And again, whatever you're able to disclose, was Riley close?
I don't know. That's the problem with this thing. I don't know. It changes every year because there are a couple. Mon is saying that per Gary Myers, Klecko was close, which to me is mind-boggling. How can he be any closer than Anderson or Riley?
Hey, I know Gary's one of your buddies. We're not big fans of Gary, Jeff. We're not big fans of Gary. Just
The thing about the thing about the quarterback thing, what he said about the quarterback is amazing to me, and I'm going to call him on it because, according to Elias, since the merger, the Bengals are the only team to draft 4 quarterbacks that have started at least 97 games with that team. And they've also, all 4 quarterbacks have also won a division title, been in the playoffs, and 2 of them were MVPs. So it's like, and 2 of them were on offenses that were cutting edge. So Cincinnati for quarterbacks, very good play. It's just the exact opposite of what people say.
Yep.
But
Joe Klecko, I don't know. That's got me.
That's I don't even.
And you know what? Joe Klecko's got an argument. I'm not here to defame Joe Klecko. I'm here to build up. Cliff Branch ought to be in the hall.
Yep.
I didn't think about his case really, and I didn't really think about his case until Clark talked about him last week. I saw his playoff numbers, and you know what? He retired as the all-time playoff retired. Should have gone in playoff all-time retired. But when Kenny Anderson retired, Kenny Anderson was the all-time leader in completion percentage in a game, in a season, and a postseason career. He should be in too. So that's my thing. Cliff should be in. I'm glad he's in. I'm glad for his family. That's not the argument. That's not defaming anyone. That's not defaming Klecko's candidacy. He was a great player. Let him state his case. I'm not here to defame that, but just here to build up, those 2 guys.
I think the one thing we all agree on is there needs to be more than one senior player going every year. That's the bottom line. It needs to change.
No, you're right, Jamie. You're right. And do you think about it? The thing was, and probably the Ring of Honor, the Bengals Ring of Honor will probably have to attack that too, because the Pro Football Hall of Fame didn't start till 1963, so the senior committee did a lot of. They had to go back into the bowels of the game to get people. So you're right. There's this backlog there. It's got to be more than one. It's got to be more than one. Really, I don't know.
We joked earlier, Jeff. We joked earlier that they nominated 3 fans for the Hall of Fan and only 1 senior, so it just doesn't make any sense.
Hey Jeff, we've got a lot of people watching here now, and as you alluded to earlier, kudos to the Bengals fans for being positive through this whole process, stating your case, and showing up in Canton, doing what you're doing. What if you had one word of advice for the fans that are all very frustrated tonight? What would you say to them as we continue to push forward and, as we alluded to get Ken's and Willie in the Hall of Fame?
Keep it positive. I don't think I think there are good people in the process. I think there are good people and I think there are worthy people getting elected. So don't get frustrated. Hang in there. It's what we love to do. We love to honor our players, no matter whether it be in the ring, whether it be every Sunday, whether it be reading and listening. We love it. We honor them, and it's positive. And I think just keep it going. Just keep it going. We just got just got a tip pass picked off. How do you respond in adversity? Bengal fans are great in adversity. They're great in any situation. They'll come back. Tip pass. We'll come back on another drive right here. Get going. Try to get. We got Willie in the red zone. Let's push him through.
Yep. Great point, Jeff. Tom, I know you had a question you wanted to ask before we let him go.
You guys got it. You're good. But I will pivot a little bit if we're going to look to the future. How the boys looking this weekend, Jeff, and that energy and enthusiasm and optimism that Zach Taylor brings to a locker room, is that still there with all the guys?
Yeah, Tom, I think the defense is real. I think the defense is a legitimate unit out there, and they give a lot of energy. Burrow's got a lot of energy too. He's got a real good feel for the team. Not a great outing for the offense in Washington, but I thought they came back. They had a really good practice Monday, and I think that was Burrow and Mixon getting these guys going. So I think it's an interesting club. It's an interesting club on defense. They play smart. They're pros. A lot of pros there, and a guy like Cam Sample, devastating with Osai. But if that's true, I don't know what that's going to come out like. But I think Sample is a real pro. He's a kid, and I like what I think Pollock's going to get it figured out up front. I really do think Dante Smith and Jackson Carman, physically, they're what you want, and I think they're going to come. I think they're going to come at some point. Maybe it's at the quarter pole, maybe it's at the bye, but I think eventually they're going to be in there. So I don't know. I think I do like the vibe. I do like Burrow's special. Burrow brings you a little sense of, I can only compare it to what Boomer did, and Boomer is in a class by himself when it comes to the intangibles. But that's kind of what this guy gives off,
Some swagger.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Jeff,
Definitely.
look, man, I thank you. So we know you've been put through the ringer through this process. For you to be here with us today, buddy, it means a lot to everybody watching right now. Bengals Nation loves you. You're the best. Jeff Hobson, you're a good man, and we appreciate you so
Well,
much.
I tell you what, this is the only place I wanted to be after what happened today. I had to be with Bengal fans, so I appreciate you for being there for me.
This is the Bengals counseling session. We're just here to help each other out, Jeff. We're good.
All right, guys, we'll do it soon, and and there will be happy times in Canton. Believe me.
Absolutely, brother. Jeff, thanks again, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Good
Night,
day.
Jeff.
Take care.
Hey, he's being very modest. Just to let you know, you have no idea how much work this guy's been putting in on things, and it's just for him and Ken Riley both to be here with us tonight. Was pretty cool to see, and Jeff always giving great insight on everything. So appreciate both of them. So let's go through and kind of close out the show this evening, guys. And Jamie, we'll go ahead and start with you if it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just disappointed like everybody else. My cat's even mad at the background here, meowing.
Even he tweeted Gary Meyer just now.
Yeah, actually, my cat just got blocked by Gary Meyer.
Yeah, so did Scott. A couple other people in the chat area got blocked by Gary Myers on Twitter.
Yeah, man, I think oh man, this is distracting. We talk about the bias, and as if you want to believe there's no bias, right? You want to trust that the process is fair. But as Jeff just said, how do you go from being runner up the previous year and then not even like it sounds like he's not even runner up this year. It sounds like Klecko's the runner up next. Like, so what happens? What happens in a year? And it just doesn't make any sense. And I don't know. I obviously don't follow much Raiders news, and I'm kind of looking online to see if there's been a big fan push for their player. I'm not seeing anything. I'm seeing some national media mention it, bringing it up. But I'm not seeing people marching to Canton. I'm not seeing.
Jamie, you just hit it on a nose, brother. Just absolutely hit it on a nose. And I don't mean to interrupt your close there, but it's okay. It's important that we just stay. And Jeff made a good point there, man. Let's just stay positive around this. I know everybody's going to vent right now. That's okay. Let's get back on track. We got to focus on Willie Anderson here later this year. We got to get things rolling on that front again. But frustrating day, but
I just want to say one more thing, and I mean Tom said it best. I mean, we're not taking anything away from Branch, not at all.
Yep.
But the guys that we had on here talking about the Hall of Fame, I didn't hear that guy's name come up once. when they were referencing other players, talking about other people that deserve to be in, I had to go back and watch the replay. I don't remember hearing his name.
I still say Davis is paid something. I'm just saying they're putting money under the table.
Well, and I'm not. And again, we said this in the text when we were talking. I'm not saying this has anything to do with it, but it is interesting. That's the first year the Raiders are in Vegas. That's the big storyline going into this season, that the Raiders are in Vegas.
Interesting. Tom?
Well, like Jeff said, keep it positive. The next hill to take is Willie Anderson. He said he's in the red zone. Let's bust our butts to get him in. He blocked all those years for Corey Dillon, Rudy Johnson, protected one quarterback. And, let a lot of receivers be successful. We got to be there for him. And I think he's got a clear case. I think, in fact, he's got a better case than any lineman out there. Read an article today I told you about, Jimmy. A guy from USA Today put the top 10 guys that should be finalists from the modern era. Willie was one of them. He was the only lineman. So do the research, get it out on social media, keep hitting these guys over the head. A little, and it's a good thing. I hope Jeff isn't still watching. This does not include him and most of the media here in Cincinnati. The national media are a group of idiots. They're fools. They're dorks. We saw it in that room today. They don't get it. They change the rules nonstop. We're here to help them. We just want to help. So help them. Tell them everything, all the positive news about Willie Anderson, Ken Riley, and let's get these guys into Canton where they belong. On another note, like Jeff said, good week of practice for the boys. And it'll be fantastic to be at Paul Brown Stadium on Sunday.
It's going to be fun. James?
We're disappointment, I think, is the word of the night. I think we're all disappointed. But kudos to Ken Riley II, his attitude coming on, just smiling. I mean, I can't imagine what his family's going through, and his upbeat attitude and positivity was – first class. So thanks to him for joining us. Thanks, as everyone else said, thanks to Hobson for everything he's done, because let's be honest, it's a push. It's the fans. It's the Cincinnati media. It's the Bengals. It's the players, and everybody worked hard to make this happen. We're going to continue to work hard. Obviously, we're not going to give up. We're disappointed, but we'll keep pushing forward. Look forward to seeing everybody this weekend. As we said earlier in the show, Saturday, 16 lots, 5 to 7, memorabilia show. If you don't have any memorabilia to bring, come and hang out, drink some good beer, and as you said, Jimmy, we'll be down there Sunday before the game, kind of in a scaled down version, getting ready for week one. But look forward to getting into Paul Brown Stadium on Sunday and doing the final dress rehearsal before the big week. So there's going to be some interesting decisions being made from the cut process. There's some excess of players there at some positions, and who's going to make that final 53. But as Jeff said, stay positive, pushing the narrative for our guys, and that's all we can do.
Yep. The word of the day for me is pissed. I'm going to get over it. I got to move forward. I can't live in the past. We're going to move forward and make things happen. We're going to have a fun year this year. Great tailgates. We have a lot of stuff, fun stuff, playing a lot of charity focus. It's going to be a lot of fun, guys. Looking forward to it. Again, absolute class acts, Jeff Hobson and Ken Riley. Just, you got to love them, man. Just, yeah, your heart goes out to them because they've, the family, the Riley family, and Jeff's been working really hard on this, and we appreciate those guys coming on. I don't know. We've already been asked, is there going to be a jungle to the hall too? Too early to tell, guys. We'll look into that and figure out if that's something that makes sense to do again next year. Until then, let's keep it positive. And I want to thank everybody watching. You guys worked your butts off on social media. You guys showed up in force in Canton for the jungle to the hall. You guys busted your butt, went out of your way more than any other fan in the NFL, period. To try to make something happen. The work is still not for naught. We still have Willie Anderson we focused on. That is going to happen here next. That's going to be next on the radar. So all that stuff that we did together as a group up in Cant and everything on social media, we're still moving forward on this, guys. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. So that's it for me, guys. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for viewing. And congratulations, another $1,000 raised this week for the Joey Burrow Relief Fund. And Jeff, the banner boy, will be contacting our winner. And I cannot wait to see what the banner is going to say at Paul Brown Stadium Sunday against the Miami Dolphins. I'm really looking forward to it. So we appreciate it. Thanks again, guys. And one thing we forgot to say, and as we see Jennifer's comment up there, I want to thank so much to Josh and Jennifer and the other folks at Hoot Nation. Guys, we love it. You guys are freaking awesome. If you're not watching, make sure you follow their Facebook page. They work really hard. There are over 20,000 followers now on Facebook. And that thing has shot up from the time we started following them about a year and a half, 2 years ago, whatever it was. The numbers are shooting through the roof. It's because of the people we just talked about. And they're always positive. I know it's not always positive on that Facebook page, but you have good people kind of controlling that thing and pushing that thing forward. We appreciate you guys. We really do. And thanks for being part of this. And thanks for helping build this up for us as well. So we appreciate everybody for watching. Stay positive, guys. Let's keep fighting for our guys. We will not stop until we get some of these guys in. Thank you. Hoo-day, guys.
Hoo-day.
See
Is that
you
a fire
Sunday.
alarm I hear? I hear a fire alarm.
Yeah, I think I better get out.